All right, so we're going to hang a television on the wall. Years ago, we had a different kind of TV here, and it looked okay, but in our bedroom, we have a sleigh bed, and the end of the bed here kind of gets in the way. If you're laying down, you can't really see the TV. So we thought, wow, it'd be cool if we could get like a proper, wall-mounted thing to hang up high, and then we could push it out of the way, and then we could pull it out when we want to. Plus, we have a little seating area off on the side here. We have a little area to sit on. So if we could articulate it this way, that would be cool too. And I found this mount online. Show you guys. I found this on Amazon for 25 bucks. It articulates with two separate arms, and the main thing I was looking for was this back piece that will connect to 16 inches on each stud. That way you've got anchor support on two different sides, not just the center one. I've got one of those center ones in the podcast room, and it doesn't feel as secure as one with two posts would be. Plus, this one articulates up and down as well as side to side. So that way, if you wanted to tilt it or move it side to side, you got full range motion. And for 25 bucks, that looks like a good deal. It is something you got to search for on Amazon. Anyway, I'm going to put this up and kind of show you guys what it takes and how it looks and all that stuff. So stick around. All right, obviously the first thing I want to do is be able to pull this away from the wall. Got to be careful so that nothing falls. Keep my hand on it and just sort of slide one corner at a time until I can get behind there decently. And then once I can get around it, I'm going to unplug it. So if I squeeze back here, I can unplug the television and my Fire Stick. Those are the only two things I have plugged into it right now. And I can see the back of the TV. Let me rotate this around so you guys can see it, okay? So on the back of your flat screen TV, you're going to have these mounting screws. You can already see them. They're shiny. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the back of that mount is going to hook to here. Now what I have to do is figure out my placement here on the wall and find two studs where I can mount that bracket, okay? I've already got a extension cord for these two wires. I know they make a plug-in for the Fire Stick where you can plug your power directly into the TV somewhere. This TV is an older TV, and it doesn't look like it has the USB plug that power adapter fits to. So I will have an extension cord with a couple of prongs on it that are going to go up a little hidden piece that's going to hide some wires a little bit. So anyway, let me get some tools. All right, let's unbox this, shall we? Went and had to get a knife so I could cut open the plastic tape here. All right, we got some heavy hardware here. Looks like we got a box of screws and washers of various kinds, sizes and shapes and colors. We got wall extenders, just in case you don't have a stud to get into. These are what your screws are going to go into, and some washers for those. We got some handy dandy instructions. They did include a HDMI cable. That's kind of interesting. I don't actually need that right now, but it's fun to have. I got some articulating or some wall-mounted brackets, I think. Maybe this is the television brackets. Yeah, this is the television brackets. You can tell because it has these little hook ends. There's little hooks right here. So basically your TV is going to hook into the mount vertically like this. Click. It doesn't actually make that sound. I just made that sound with my mouth. Got an Allen wrench. Some plastic stickers of sorts. A level. That's pretty handy. Some Velcro, I guess, for the wire. And your main mounting bracket. That's the articulating part. See that? See, it'll move this way, it'll move that way. It also has the ability to be focused downward. That's going to be really handy. And it says, use this template to determine where you will drill your holes for wall studs generally are either 16 inches apart. Level template and tape it to the wall, mark your holes, and you're ready to drill. Well, that's pretty handy. So anyway, let's get into that. Okay, I want to show you this. This is how I put the bracket on the back of the TV. In the grouping of screws, I picked out some of the smallest screws that are the widest. I'm taking them out. Here they are. So this is the size of the screw I'm talking about, okay? This is what actually fits in that hole. And all you got to do is simply test it. It's not going to be any wider than your finger, but you just test it in the hole. Of course, you want to hand screw it. It says do not use a drill, a power drill, to put these into there because you'll actually damage this little hole right here. This is, pretty delicately put into the TV, although it is strong enough to hold it. You don't want to torque it too hard and then break something on the inside, and then you've got a problem with your holder. So anyway, I hand put in this bracket. As you can see, this is the bracket I was talking about with the hooks that face down, because when you go to put it in that mount, it's just going to lay up inside of there, and then you have these built-in screws that are going to tighten it in place. That way it doesn't fall off of the bracket. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you've got one on top and bottom, and this fits it perfectly. So I'm going to put the other one on this side, and then I'll show you what I did here. I went on this wall. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all one color, but I went on this wall. See if I can focus. Focus. There's two spots here. You have to just take my word for it because I can't really tell. I'll move the camera up a little bit so you guys can see. Alright, so what I basically did was I used my stud finder and I just went along this wall. I know that the corner's going to have a stud, so I just basically came out, found a stud, and just made a mark about where the TV's going to go. The TV's going to hide any kind of marks that you make with a pencil. So I made the mark, came over another 16 inches, found the center of the next one, made a mark about the same height. Wasn't really sure if it was exactly the same height. But then I went and got my level, and I leveled it off to where exactly it was level. Okay. Now this doesn't have to be 100% perfect because this mount actually gives a 4 degrees of difference because you can actually adjust it a little bit if it's not completely perfect. But this is perfect. Okay. So I've got two studs. If you don't have studs, there's all kind of instructions about how to do this. If you have just drywall or if you have a concrete wall or something like that, they have different hardware and different setups for all of that. But because I have studs, I'm going to be using a screw that's a little aggressive looking. But I've mounted these before. This has some teeth on it to go through the wood. But in order to get this started, you kind of want to pre-drill a hole. I picked out a drill bit that was a little bit smaller than, well, it's definitely smaller than the actual screw. But it's enough that it's not going to cause the wood to splinter when I go to put that screw in. If you don't do that and you go to put your screw into the wood, you're going to splinter the wood on the inside. Plus, there's no telling what it'll do to your drywall. So I've got my holes teed off to where it's level and it's in line with the studs. I'm going to drill my holes in 2 spots, and then I'm going to put this up and go from there. I almost forgot to use my template. This is the template that shows you you're going to have basically holes in 4 corners because you want a top and bottom to hold on both sides. So I lined up my template so that everything will be lined up with the holes. And then I marked the 4 corners, the 2 corners on the bottom. And if you want to double test it, you can put your level up to it. And I'm still level. Yay. Alright, so that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and drill my 4 holes and go from there.
We got the actually $20 off.
Yeah. That's why I did it. Alright, here we go. First hole. Alright, so I had something a little unusual here. When I went to drill a hole here, there is something metal right there. Now, that is a stud. My only thought is it's probably a nail that held the drywall up. So I held the bracket up here just to see how it would line up, and I realized that if I went to the side of it just a little bit and kind of angled it towards it, I can put this bolt in a little bit angled like that. It's not going to affect the way it mounts. It's actually going to hold it pretty sturdy. So it'll still go in the stud. But I got my 4 holes drilled. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to hold the bracket up there and hand screw these in just a little bit to get it started. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's hanging up here. I'm going to use, again, these screws. And I'm just going to use a screwdriver to get it started. I fit it in there to make sure that it fits right. So sit you guys up and you can kind of see the progress. Are you angled the right way? I gotta angle you up a little bit. All right, so if I do something stupid here, I want everybody watching online to go, oh no, don't do that! Which I almost just did by bumping the TV with my butt. If I walk around the other way, I don't risk that problem. Okay. Maybe. It's fine. Okay, so I got the screws, I got my screwdriver, I got my bracket. Does it have a this way up sign? Just want to verify. I don't see a this way up sign. I do see something that needs to be noticed here. On the side here, can you guys see that? On the side here, this is an adjustable bracket. This lets you tilt it down or up. Okay, I want that on the bottom side. Is that right? Am I thinking about that right? No. If I have it on the top side, then I can angle it down. Yeah, so I want that on the top side. Oh, well there's a sign right there. It says up. See that right there in the middle? Up. Okay, so that's the up side. All right, let's get a screw or two and see what we can do here, Scooby-Doo. Kind of holding this up here with my arm. Let's see if I can get one of these started. Let's hold it like this. It ain't got to be perfect to get it started. It's just got to be in there. So, I've started the screw. I'm going to screw it in a little ways. I can feel it biting on the wood. I'm going to stop right there. Now what I want to do is go to the opposite side and start a screw over here. That way at least I've got more than one point of reference holding it. And I'll start it here. And I can feel it biting into the wood. That's good. If I let it go now, see, it is holding it. Okay? I got 2 more screws. Let's go back to this side. And I had to push up on it just a tad because gravity had pulled it a little bit while I let go of it. I'm going to screw this in until it starts to bite. That feels good. Alright. Now I've got this last hole. This is the hole I had to maneuver a little bit, but that's fine. We're going to get it started. Alright, I can feel it grabbing the wood. You see how this moved? That's not a big deal. It'll move back. So I went out to the garage and I got a ratchet set. This says, what does it say? 1/2. Alright, so righty-tighty. Okay, that's snug in there. Let's take a look, shall we? So up close here, you can see that this is pretty sturdy. It's not going to go anywhere. This actually is rated for 121 pounds, so it's pretty impressive for a mount, and especially with it only being 25 bucks. This does feel very sturdy. I am going to want this to angle down, but I'm not going to do that yet. At first, what I'm going to do is I am going to make sure that my mount is hooked up correctly on the back of this TV, and gonna check it out for distance. I may hold it up there just to see what it looks like, and then I may adjust the tilting of it. It is going to have to go downward just a little bit, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'm going to hang it first to see what it looks like. All right, so hold on. All right, I've snugged these bolts down. Getting them started on the top and bottom was a little difficult by hand. You kind of have to play with it. The bottom one on this side didn't want to go in, so I had to unhook the top one and then get it to thread, and then moved it up here and then got it to thread. I don't know why, it's just, I guess the angle or whatever. But you can see I've got these hooks to where they're both faced with the opening down, okay? That'll fit over this lip right here. You can't tell it on this end because it's got a gash, but right here, you see that lip? It's gonna fit on that lip. And then the bottom is gonna have screws that screw into that part. That's these screws right here. That's the brackets that'll hold it in place so that if you bump into it, it's not gonna fall off the bracket, okay? If you have a smaller TV, your points on the back of the TV will be closer, and this will allow you to then slide it on the bracket a little bit one way or the other, but that's not a big deal. All right, so what I want to do next is just hang it up there and just see how it looks, okay? All right, so I put the TV up here, and I kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm looking at. I don't know how bright this is, but up here you can see there's a bracket here. It's got to go inside of the outside part so that both tongs on both brackets are on the inside. Now this is made just to fit just inside of there with the size of the TV I have. This is a 51-inch plasma. Okay, with it being a plasma, it's a bit heavier than normal. I had to get my wife to help me and turn it into a little thing, but we got it up there. And now that it's up there, we've decided not to take it down again, but instead to just do what we got to do up here, which means I got to take a screwdriver and take out 4 bolts on the back of this to get that bottom piece off the TV. But this is what it looks like up there, okay? It is off the ground, way higher than it was before. Looks pretty good right now. I am still going to probably check out the angle on it. Looks like the angle bracket is altered with a Allen wrench. This right here, this hole, I don't know if you guys can see that, is an Allen wrench hole, which is why they sent an Allen wrench with their little packet. And I kind of pushed all the tools over here, but there's an Allen wrench in here somewhere. But anywho, I'm gonna take that bottom part off and let you guys see what it looks like that way, okay? Stay tuned. All right, that's what it looks like without the stand on it. And I can now, because it's all hooked to everything, I can now articulate it this way against the wall. Is that as close as it's going to get because of the bracket? No, I got it just sideways, that's all. So it'll move like that. That's with it close against the wall. That's pretty good. It doesn't look exactly level. I'm gonna check out my level and just see how it looks. It may just be an optical illusion because it's against the corner. But let's get the level out and see what it looks like. I'm sure it's because I got one good eye and one bad eye. Actually, this side needs to come up a little bit. So there's probably something in these mounting brackets in the back that I can adjust. So let me pull it back out a little bit and look at what's behind here to adjust it. There we go. Now it's balanced. All right, so with it pushed against the wall, that's it fully put against the wall. and level. Let's look at it from this side, shall we? Very nice, much better. All right, so you can see I've got an outlet down here, and I did buy an extender that's going to hide the wires. This is plastic, obviously, but I can paint it. It is paintable. So my idea is to plug the thing in and then have this go up the side here and paint it so that it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. But first, let's plug it in and just see what it looks like. Okay, so I bought this extension cord, so it'd be a single cord that goes up from the wall. Also, because I knew there'd be a length between the TV and where the outlet is. This was a 10-foot cord, obviously more than I need, but it's always better to have more than you need than not enough. So I've got some twisty ties. I'm going to basically hide all of the wires behind the television and like hook it to the bracket back here. That way you guys won't even see it. I'm not going to put it inside of this sleeve thing yet. I actually want to take that out to the garage and see if I can paint it so that it looks like the wall first before I actually mess with that. So I have looked at it enough to know that once I take this plastic off of the cover, it's got a seam on the right side there. You basically just open that up, put your cord in, and close it back up. This blue strip right here is the part you pull off with the sticky side underneath it. That was actually what sticks to the wall. So again, I need to paint that. So I'm just going to hide these cords. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, this is it plugged in. And as you can see, I've got the extension cord, a little slack right there. I am going to take that piece, like I said, and get it lightly sanded and painted. That way it'll match the wall. But I just wanted to turn the TV on so you guys can see what it's like up against the corner of the room, pulled out a little bit. Obviously it's pulled out enough for me to see behind. But I just took some zip ties back here. I know a lot of people don't like to show their dirty work, but I just took some zip ties and I zip tied stuff back here. So the wires are managed out of the way and not hanging down. Now, this thing moves in all kinds of directions. So like if I'm sitting here like this, you guys can see it. I can move it this way. I can move it this way. It's like if I'm sitting in that other room, I can see the TV. If I'm sitting in the bed, I can see the TV. If I want to push it back and just have it out of the way, I can push it to the side, or I can push it straight back like so. And I can still angle it against the wall. See, that's not bad. That's all the way pushed against the wall on the left corner, and I'm still faced to where if I'm laying in the bed, I can see the TV just fine. I like it. I think it's all right. Obviously, if I'm watching TV in bed, I want to angle it just a little more. Just a hair more. Well, I got a better angle. But see, that's kind of the benefit of that whole system. If you guys notice, I took the thing off the wall over there. It's just sitting down here. I can hang it back up in a second. But I wanted to show you the finished result, and I'm happy with it. Like I said, they send you everything you need. You just need a few simple tools to put it in there, and we're going to call that done. I got a bunch of stuff left over. I'm just going to keep some of the bolts in my bolt storage and throw the rest away. The rest is just garbage. I don't need the stand anymore, although I may put it in the attic for possibility of future use. So who knows? All right, thanks for watching, everybody. All right, I took that piece of plastic that's going to hold the wires, and I wanted to paint it, but I also wanted to open it up because there's a little part here where it kind of sits together, and I felt like if I didn't paint the inside of those grooves, you're going to see it at some point or another. I didn't know which side it would be facing, but I also thought if I got the opportunity to paint it, why not paint it? So plus I thought with it closed, if I painted it, it might paint shut, and then when I go to open it, it could cause the paint to crack. So I had this yardstick that was just sitting out here. I just slid it inside. It does prop open, and I took a can of paint that I had painted that room with in the past, and just cracked it open, stirred it up really good, and painted it with a sponge brush, just a cheap sponge brush. So I'm gonna let this dry, and I may come out here in a couple hours and put another coat on it just to make sure that it's covered good. It won't completely disguise the fact that we have wire management plastic cover thing up against the wall, but it'll look better than just a white strip sticking up there. I know I could move the wires in the wall, but that would require a lot more work than I want to do right now, or more than my wife wants me to do right now. She may look at it and go, that's stupid, do the other thing. So I may end up not even using this, but we'll see. This is just one of the steps. Alright, so I went out to the garage and I painted that plastic piece, and when I got it done I realized I painted the wrong color. I had to find another thing of paint and paint it again. You can see though that the paint does match up really well, and it doesn't look too bad. Actually painting it does take away from your eye catching it as much as it would be if it was white. I know it doesn't blend perfectly, but it looks good. So we're gonna call that done. Everything is wired and plugged in and working, and we like the way it sits. The tilting is nice to be able to see it from the bed. Very nice.